Welcome back, you lovely students. And we're going to be on lesson 3.4 today, blood doping and messing with metabolism to win races. Now, in this lesson, we are just going to be focusing on parts 1 through 3. So, in part 1, you're going to go to your warm up. So, your warm up is going to be a letter, and it just says, "Thank you." This is from Dr. Walker, the MD. I'm going to jump over to Amplify for. So the subject is Elisa, the student or the young girl we've been doing all of this research on. Thank you for wrapping up the diagnosis of Elisa. Thanks for your careful investigation. We've been able to get started with the course of treatment that should have her feeling more energetic soon. We have a new assignment for you. We want you to learn about the metabolism of athletes, not just any athletes, but world-class athletes that train for many hours every day. Energy releases in the cells is very important to these athletes. So start your thinking about these energy needs of athletes. Please answer the following questions with your best ideas. So you're going to answer these questions right below and pause the video so that you can complete those warm-up questions. All right, now that you're back, I have a few questions to ask you for you to discuss with the partners. So, in order to maintain a high level of performance, what types of food do you think an athlete should eat right before a race? And explain your answer. Discuss those with your partner. Pause the video here to do that. Okay, welcome back. So maybe you guys said a big bowl of spaghetti because they need tons of starch to break down into glucose, which gives them energy. Well, how about this question? The energy released in cellular respiration helps an athlete perform. How do you think an athlete might be able to increase cellular respiration? So pause here and talk to your partners about this question. All right, we started learning about metabolism by investigating several medical conditions in which things were going wrong with metabolism. Now we'll examine the other end of the spectrum. We'll consider how those elite athletes are able to increase their cellular respiration. So, what are some examples of signals sent within Diego's body? Now, some of you guys read this article before, but this is the homework assignment from the last lesson. And in it, we talked about his brain cells. And the signals that are sent from his brain cells help him figure out what to do next as he's hiking up this mountain. As Diego thinks, more signals move from one brain cell to the other. So the signals are sent from the eyes, depending on the light, which is electromagnetic input. Signals are sent from the ears and the fingers through touch that are both are mechanical types of inputs. And then we have signals that are sent from the nose that are chemical inputs. So we're going to move on to activity 2. Active reading, blood doping. So in this article about blood doping, a way in which some of these athletes have tried to kick their bodies into having just a bit more energy than they would normally have. And we're going to learn about this in this article. This is actually illegal, but some athletes do it anyway, and the article is going to explain what blood doping is and how it can provide an athlete with more energy. So remember, as we are reading this, you're focusing on asking deeper questions, and these question starters could help you to ask those questions as well. And as you read, make sure you're annotating your thinking, trying to figure out what's going on with this blood doping. Why is it helpful? Why is it not? Asking deeper questions. And we're going to go ahead and jump into Amplify to read that article now. All right, so if we jump into Amplify, what I just read about is right up here for you. The article is down below. Remember that you can hit this play button here and you're going to read the entire article all the way down to this picture down here at the bottom. Remember, you have the audio that will read aloud for you, so go ahead and use the audio. And remember to, you should make one annotation at least each section. So like this catching blood doper section, you should make an annotation within these 2 paragraphs, whether it be an underline, a highlight, a question, something that you think is important. Maybe you summarize something off to the side, or even down here at pictures, you put a little annotation on the picture by clicking on it, and it will allow you to type in or highlight, and you can write a note on it as well. Okay, make sure you save those notes. So next we're going to use these annotations that you've made and discuss them. So what I want you to do is group up with your partner, and I want you guys to look over those annotations and find a couple that you want to discuss with each other. And you're going to share them and discuss them. And be ready to answer a question about this when you come to do your mastery check for this lesson. So I hop back over to Amplify to make sure you know what you're supposed to be doing for this lesson. So you should be sharing those and discussing them. Be ready to present one of those to me when you come discuss with me before you take your mastery check. And then card 2 is where you have the article as a reflection. So you can go back and look at your notes and tell me how often you paid attention to your own understanding. Okay, and the last part of the lesson today is going to be your homework. I'm going to jump back to the slides for just a moment, but in your homework, you're going to choose an activity or choose an article from this activity for you to read about the body systems and how they work differently in different organisms. And then you're going to answer some questions about it. So we're going to hop back over to Amplify, go to the homework, and you're going to choose one of these organisms. They're all odd organisms that do things that a normal body would do, but for different reasons and in different ways. So if you look down here, here are the articles: blue whale, grasshopper, sea sponge, trout, water bear. Choose one of these, answer your questions below after you've read it, and make sure you go back to Canvas and check what other assignments you need to do. Make sure you take your mastery check.